Hey everyone, Dr. David here with Beyond Chiropractic. Recently we were talking about, are you listening to your body? It was how we could look at the symptoms in our body not as an adversary or something to be defeated, but as an instructor, an instruction for how we need to change our perceptions, our actions, and our lifestyles to change our physical pain, our suffering, and a disease process we might be going through. This week I want to talk about another aspect of our symptoms that's often overlooked. For a long time, in both medicine and science and healing in general, at least in the Western world, has been considered more of a metaphysical concept, and that's the concept of emotion and how it's linked to our pain. Thanks to Candace Pert, PhD and Nobel laureate candidate, she wrote a book called Molecules of Emotion, and she actually was able to map out and track how the body expressed emotion through our cells. And a majority of those cells with those receptors are found in the spinal cord and in the gut. And the whole idea is that she allowed us to understand that the process of emotion is a physical process. Another interesting thing is that the pathways in the brain and in the spinal cord for both pain and emotion run on the same pathway. So a lot of times the body struggles to differentiate between the two. Also, when a physical pain happens, say we get in a car accident, we fall, we get a sports injury or something like that, there's also a very real emotional component that comes along with those. And a lot of times, even after someone has done rehabilitation or something to help those injuries that have happened, they still seem to have pain or residual pains, or they still have some type of dysfunction. And a lot of times that's because there's an emotional component that hasn't been addressed. And I want to talk now about what that looks like, right? How do we know that there can be an emotional component to the pain outside of some of these things that we know are happening in the body? Well, what happens is think about when you stub your toe. Boom! Oh! A lot of times we want to scream out, we want to cry, we want to express and expel that, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we hold it in. Instead of us releasing the scream or the cry or something like that, what happens is now we feel, days later, we feel pain in our neck, in our throat, in our jaw, areas where that emotion needed to be expressed from, okay? Same thing if we are maybe interacting with someone and we want to say something, but we hold back. We feel like we're being walked on, or we don't want to go that way, or we don't agree with that decision or something like that. But at the time we say, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to hold it in. I'm just going to stand back. Well, that person that you didn't say that to becomes a pain in your neck or a pain in your butt. Okay? Sometimes hatred and rage, right, very dark emotions, they can be stored in our gut, right? We say, you make me so mad, I'm sick to my stomach, or I feel like I could puke. Someone who's just had a broken heart or is downhearted, they feel that in their chest. They feel that physical pain in their heart. A lot of times you can see it in their posture. They're going to be pulled in. The chest is going to be closed down and closed off because they're not trying to love right now, okay? They're not trying to get into that because they're trying to protect themselves. And so the ultimate gist here is that when we don't express verbally or emotionally, the body holds on to that in tension, contraction of the muscles, and rigidity. And that's not just in our body, as we hold on to those more and more, we have tension, contraction, and rigidity in our life. We find it difficult to take new action, to change our lifestyle and to change our habits because we're not expressing ourselves, because we're locking our body down with all of these emotional stresses and tension. And speaking about stress, Candace Pert, thank you for letting us know that it's a molecular response that's happening, right? There's chemical molecules being released. Well, that also adds to stress responses as well. when we're not feeling a particular emotion, it causes us stress. Our body releases that stress cascade. So we don't have an opportunity to rest and digest and heal. And our body's in a fight or flight. And it wants to survive. And it can't take time to think about how I need to express my emotions or to tap into my body and to listen and to improve my self-awareness and those kind of things. And so one of the things we do here at Beyond Chiropractic is we look at that emotional layer. So we're looking at the physical and we're also looking at the emotional, right? We want to know what are the emotional stressors that you're dealing with in your life, and we want to talk to you about how they could be linked with the physical things that you're dealing with. Also, a lot of times people will express emotions on the table. Well, we make it a safe place here for people to do that. One of the interesting things here, and just to wrap up, is that we don't have to play psychoanalyst or psychotherapist. Most people don't have to go back to whenever this happened. They don't have to understand it. They don't have to see it. What they need to do is they need to express the emotion that they didn't express at the time. And they need to do that to allow that to release. So again, we make a safe place for that here. And we have those discussions. Some people do get off the table and say, hey, I realize it was connected to this. And we want people to share, and that's part of the healing community, and that's part of helping everyone in the room at the time to heal as well. The more you express, the better you're going to feel, and the better the people around you are going to feel, because they're going to say, man, I need to do that too. I need to sigh heavy, or I need to cry, or I need to yell. It makes it safe for other people to do that as well. And so when you tap into your self-awareness and you tap into your self-healing, you actually can begin to help others heal in the community as well. So that was just another way we wanted to talk about how your symptoms could be manifesting, and another layer of the way that we look at the body as a whole to understand what you have going on. If you have any questions or you want to know more, you can leave comments below. We also are open to folks leaving comments about other topics they may want to hear, so that we can continue to have some great topics and discussions each week for you. All that aside, thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we'll have more for you next week. This is Dr. David with Beyond Chiropractic, and we hope everyone has a great week.